Hello guys, this is a presentation about the updates in preventive care and the reports of the program, especially made for the preventive care advisory group. So I present that during our meetings, but I recorded in order to share with all the members of the advisory group to see what was going on during the session. Actually, currently we have 35 students. One is on leave of absence. 5 will graduate this June, and 5 will graduate in June 27. Um, uh, it can be more or less than that number. And we have, in the last 3 years, we have 3 that dropped the program, mostly because of family situations. One student had to take care of her mother. Another student, his father was sick. And another one was a financial problem to continue with the program. The 35 students, we have almost one-third of them that are international students. We have one from Brazil, one from the Philippines, 2 from Hong Kong, one from Barbados, 2 from Trinidad and Tobago, one from Saudi Arabia, and one from New Zealand. Elena was in New Zealand and now she is back in Guam. We consider Guam overseas or international, even though it's part of the United States. See, if we consider the admissions, the intention of this advisory group or the main topic is recruitment. And then we can see that in the last 4 years, we have 26 students recruited, and then we have about 26 graduated. So we might be even there. But as you see in the last year, I mean, recruiting for this year, we only have 3, and that would be 4 by next week, I believe, because I just have an interview this week, and I am almost sure the lady um, that interviewed, she will join the program. What are the recruitment strategies? We we created an email list. So whenever a student contacts us and shows some interest in the program, we put in an email list, and we send all the activities, information about all the activities in the program. If you have a publication, we inform them. If we have a grand rounds, we inform them some local seminars, and we include them in the preventive care news and so forth. So we also do a word of mouth, and then we use social media, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. We are there somehow. We are more in YouTube. Um, we have more than 200 videos there, and then Facebook. We have a Facebook group that we post weekly there. Um, the program contains 3 courses. The 3 courses that are enable people to sit for the health coach exam. So the health coach exam is embedded then within the program, providing the preventive care specialist with the ability to sit for the exam. And you have several of them that passed the exam, and some of them are practicing with that. Another new thing was the ACLM, American College of Lifestyle Medicine, that we just approved one of our courses, the HPRO 529. If you are a graduate from the program, you know HPRO 529 is the old one because it's here since I graduated in the program in 2000, in the year 2000. Okay, some of you are older than me in the program. In that time, we have this HPRO 529. The name hasn't changed. The number hasn't changed, but the name is also the same. Lifestyle, sorry, preventive and therapeutic interventions for chronic diseases. So that one is the program that kind of enable our students to be able to sit for the diplomat in ACLM. So we have several of our students that are there, and this connects us a little closer to the American College of Lifestyle Medicine, and then that this is our college, and we're supposed to be more frequent there, and we're supposed to go to their conferences, and we uh, kind of motivate the students to join the college, and this is our college. Why is that? Well, because we are member founders of this. I am a member founder of the American College of Lifestyle Medicine. It started here in Loma Linda, and I was one board member for a while, and now I am just a member. But I got my diplomate, and I advise my students, and we support them for the exam. Other two activities that we decided was we were able to find a way to go to LLBM, Loma Linda Broadcasting Network, to do a TV program. But unfortunately, the program was not approved by marketing. We have a little bit of a fight with marketing here. Um, uh, marketing is characterized by marketing people, and we are content people, and then our content people. It looks like we are discontent people. So, but what I'm saying is that they have these structures there, and then it was a little bit of a struggle. We spent 1 year recording videos here in the school, in the rooms, in the classrooms. We didn't have a studio. All things were a little bit backyard style. And then when we got a position from the LLBN to record our things there, and the idea was to interview people and develop this concept of longevity that is our tradition here in Loma Linda. Bring experts, bring volunteers, bring centenarians, and develop a program. We have the things on that. Then we got a studio to do that. Oh, great! And then they said, no, cannot do it. In fact, they said you can promote yourself, but you cannot promote Loma Linda. You cannot promote your program there. You say, well, okay, why am I going to promote myself? I don't need that. I am in the top. I am a professor in the top of my career, so I don't need a self promotion here. And so we gave up on that. But the next one is a crazy idea. Uh, I'm gonna do that, but my wife said that I'm crazy, and I present to the group, and some of them say, well, this guy is cuckoo. But let me show you what's that. So I am trying to touch a little bit on a few billionaires. And in the meeting, they said, why don't you go with millionaires instead of billionaires? Maybe you can have more people and they are more likely to help with the tuition. So my point is to write a letter and then describe the program, the uniqueness of the program, describe the amount of international students we have, and the focus on non-communicable diseases that is the main causes of mortality and morbidity in the world, not just in the United States. And then diabetes, hypertension, heart disease, you guys know about that. All are entities that we are trying to prevent in the program over and over and over. And also we have this connection with the health coaching exam, and then that the students will get that certificate, and also a diplomate and the connection with the American College of Lifestyle Medicine. The idea is to find one of them that was able to donate $500,000 per year during 10 years. That would be $5 million in order to maintain uh, 50 students in those 5 years in the program. And then they don't need to pay. And the idea is because I got 2 weeks ago, I got a call from one of the students, prospective students, and he said, or she said, I don't have the money. And then I mentioned, but most of our students, they got loans. But guys, you know that loans are getting a little um, hard to get now because the government is kind of terminating those, and then you have to go to the private sector for that. I have another student from India. She is a member of the American College of Lifestyle Medicine. She was American. She moved to India because her family is there, is from there, and she is working with a non-government organization in the field of prevention. I mean, she is creating groups, creating activities, creating ways to develop a lifestyle for their Indians compatriots there, and she would like to join the program, but as she works there, she made maybe $2,000 US dollars per month. She can barely survive with that salary. So no way to get loans, no way to pay for the program. The program is about 65 to $75,000 for the 3 years in the program. It's not that much, but consider for this lady in India, um, it would be almost impossible for her to do it. And then the reason for that, I always remember the Drazen Center story. Dr. Drazen was a professor at La Sierra University. And don't ask me if professors at La Sierra University can get to be a millionaire. But anyways, on that time, he was, maybe he has a family or other business, but he became a millionaire. And then Loma Linda guys went there and say, well, we want to build the gym here in Loma Linda. If you help us with the money for it, we will put your name on it. And the guy, okay, I will do it. And then we have the Drazen Center. But after he did that, the guys from La Sierra, remember, La Sierra and Loma Linda, we are two different institutions belonging to the same corporation that is the Seventh-day Adventist Church. And the La Sierra guys went to visit with Dr. Drazen and asked him, why did you give that to Loma Linda and not to us? We need to have that gym also. And then he answered very simply, because you never asked it. And because of that, we are planning to visit or send a message or send a letter to some of the billionaires in the world to see what we can get. Well, it's crazy, but if Loma Linda allows me, I will do it. And then the last slide here is about our students. This this is a picture of a graduation in 2023, and then I always put the program that the world needs. This is our new motto uh, because of what I said. I mean, it's focusing on the prevention of non-communicable diseases. And I was invited uh, this year to, and I have done that for a while in the global health program to speak about non-communicable diseases. That is our expertise, my expertise to prevent diabetes, obesity, and lifestyle, to bring lifestyle. And then I went to talk to the guys, and I mentioned that most of these diseases are caused by the McDonaldization of the society. And then when they have a progress in the industry or industrialization, the foods that go after industrialization and computerization are the unhealthy fast foods that we have in McDonald's and other places. McDonald's has not been successful only in Africa, and it looks like they have only South Africa and Nigeria with McDonald's, and the rest of the um, continent does not have it. But everywhere else in the world, McDonald's is there. It's not just McDonald's. I just use that name because maybe I have a bias against McDonald's, whatever. But the problem here is that we are concerned about that, and we train our students to be leaders in this fight against unhealthy foods, fast foods, and to push more plant-based foods, to push more lifestyle, exercise, stress management, sleep, rest, and avoidance of toxins, toxic substance like alcohol, smoking, and drugs. One more thing that we see in this picture, I asked people what they saw in this picture. I asked the guys in the meeting, and then they said, well, there is just one graduate that is a male. That was clear. Our program has more females than males, and this has been like that for many years. And then, but the other characteristic is the diversity. So you see from left to right, yeah, forget about me, but we have Michelle Paycheck. Michelle is American, okay? Then after Michelle, we have John Quill Williams. She is African American. By the way, most of our students are African Americans female. And then you have, after John Quill, you have Alabadi, that who was from Saudi Arabia. Besides Alabadi, you have Gregory Cohen. Huh, he is a Jewish. So you have one Muslim and one Jewish together in the program. So you don't find many places that have this in the world. And then after Greg is a good friend of mine. By the way, Greg is also a cook. Besides being a preventive care specialist, he is chief. I would not say cook. He is a vegetarian, vegan chief, and also an expert in exercise. So that's what happened with preventive care. Most of them are already experts in one area of lifestyle, and then they work. They got the DrPH, and then they expand their reach when they have the PCS, preventive care specialist. Besides Greg, we have Rayanne Leal, and Rayanne is Hispanic. And by the way, Rayanne now is working with the CDC. Um, she she got the postdoctoral position there. And then beside Rayanne, we have Razaz Shaheen, who also is from Saudi Arabia. And by the way, I believe she is going back there, or she went back there already. So we have a few Saudis that came here and they are working there um, in the field. There are some that stay here in the United States, but we have contacts there with the Saudi country. Well, this is diversity. It's showing that the program is um, still having a big influence internationally. So that's it. And now I'm going to continue exploring some of the activities that happen in the program during uh, the first part of the first part of the advisory that I forgot to record. So I'm gonna just share with you um, what was suggesting uh, with the issue of recruitment. So um, one thing that was mentioned by Dr. Olivia Moses was that we should concentrate more in the recruitment on the opportunities or the job opportunities that the program raises or the program focuses. And then this is something for us to understand. Preventive care has a broad way. I mean, people graduate in preventive care and they go to teach, and they go to public health departments, and they go to corporations, and they go and open their own clinics, and they go overseas. I mean, I have two guys that went overseas right after they graduate. One went to Korea and was a professor in that university. I believe you heard about Salim Serrano, and he went there, and he was even against my advice, because I told him, yeah, you are a community person. You should find something with NGOs or whatever to work in communities or in public health departments and things, because you like the community. And then he asked, how about teaching? Well, he didn't have a great GPA, and he was not an academic or academician. Guess what? He found a job in the Korean Samyuk University and taught there for 3 or 4 years. So I'm not going to give any more advice after they graduate. But that's something that for us to explore more. Um, Another advice was to use more internal marketing, uh, meaning that work with the other schools or work with the master's students in the School of Public Health and selling to these guys the opportunities that they have to go to preventive care program. Um, I think it was Michelle Paycheck that was present, and then she mentioned that we should go with millionaires instead of billionaires, and then this would be a little more appropriate to get money, because millionaires would be more likely to help with tuitions. And Michelle mentioned also that we should go outside of the healthcare system and find people that are maybe and are not into health, but when they hear about the program that they can, even without health care skills, they can join to these programs having a master's in whatever. They can join the program, and we train them to be preventive care specialists. We train them to be health coaches. We train them to be um, certified diplomates of the American College of Lifestyle Medicine, and then they have this opportunity. We could sell this to them. Um, Dr. Carlos Crespo from University of Chicago, Illinois, that is one of our graduates. He mentioned that maybe we should consider some develop some expertise within the program, like cardio rehab directors. So, are we planning to do something like that? It's a little more complex, but it's an idea. Or wellness directors um, for nursing homes. I never considered that, but I just have one of our graduates that became a director of a nursing home here in Riverside, and I was wondering why he was going to do that. And you study 5 years of preventive care, and now you are going to work in a nursing home. But when Dr. Carlos mentioned about that, and I started thinking, hey, we need to amplify our horizons and our vision, and consider that they can do a lot of good work, and then many guys are in charge of these centers, and they don't have any qualifications for that. So if you put one of our specialists there, and the pay can be good, you can develop programs to help these old folks to improve their health, to improve their functioning, and to increase their longevity. They are already over 65 and 70, but they can live longer. Another advice that Dr. Carlos Crespo mentioned was to see if we could have blocks or stakeable education. Instead of paying 65,000 for a whole DrPH program, they could have chunks of programs, like a certificate in health coach, as we have, and then they have this part done, and then we could do a non-communicable disease focus, and then englobe a little bit of more courses there, and then they can join these separate courses, and all of a sudden we can say, hey, you just need a few more courses to get your doctoral level and do your final project. So you are almost there. So the idea is very good. We might go and consider that. Mostly because now we have a problem with financial aids. It looks like the government is cutting off all the financial aids for students in this country for higher education. That's what we are hearing now. Um, let's see what else was discussed at that. I think that was the most important thing. Um, I continued talking to Michelle and got a little more ideas. And I will share this because this was not discussed during the meeting. But she mentioned that we should um, get involved with the student association and integrate with them. We should take advantage of the events that are happening around, like the Week of Public Health, and promote these among our students or among the school, even virtually. We can say, okay, this week we are going to do this a seminar, or we are going to do these activities, or a contest, or whatever it is. We should take advantage of this and invite people from outside to come to our virtual session. So I like the idea. In fact, we have done that when we celebrate the Adventist Health Heritage, 160 years. That was in 2023. We did a big seminar. We invited church members. We had people from Morelos that spoke. We have the guy from the General Conference, Dr. Zeno Charles Marcel, that presented the topic. And so we have done some, but not as much uh, as maybe not as frequent and not as deep as Michelle was suggesting. Um, let's see. Another issue that was mentioned was what they call cross enrollment. That means we can have a course or one or two courses in preventive care from Loma Linda, and then we interact with another university or school or even undergrad school and see if they want to have students that can come to Loma Linda and take one of these courses that might increase the interest of these guys, undergrad or bachelors that could bachelors in that are in a bachelor program, not bachelors in terms of relationships, but they could get the idea to come to Loma Linda. Another suggestion was to enter a little more into developing certificates like humanitarian things to work more together with global health and then with refugees and homeless, and then because it looks like this is a big issue now in the country. Okay, so I'm gonna finish that, and then we will continue to have uh, in this video the report of the last session of the advisory group for you guys to have an idea what happened and to be to have your own ideas, to be able to share with us, the ones that didn't go to the session, to share with us what you think we can do to improve, to increase our recruitment for the program. Thank you very much. I will see you on the next time. We are going to plan another advisory group for the second half of the year 2026. Bye-bye, and God bless you all.
Positions. And I'm thinking like cardiac rehab directors, which you have to, there might be things that you prepare a student to do, to maybe take an exam or something, but maybe pick 4 or 5 major, and you can probably survey our graduates where they are. Academic, it's just a different animal. I mean, if you can write grants and bring money, they'll hire you. That doesn't matter what your degree is. But there may be cardiac rehab directors, maybe, I don't know, wellness director of nursing homes. I don't know. I'm just thinking areas where it's not a nurse, it's not a physician, but it's somebody who understands. And then go at that market. Because there are people who are not qualified running those places. That's the other part.
Thank you. That's something I think this combines with what Michelle was saying, that we need to go out of the box. We are too close into the medical and healthcare environment. I agree with that. The problem is the problem is to get there. I mean, we might need to have connections outside of the box, and that's what we need to build up, because our connections are inside of the box. I mean, say that again, Michelle. You're
Oh, no, I have another comment like after you are finished with that thought. But yes, I
Yeah,
agree. Outside of the box.
yeah. One thing that we are trying to get them specialized, and we have one course, the preventive care management, is focusing mostly in corporations. We are trying to get them a little bit of knowledge, and we even say, okay, talk to Dr. Moses, talk to Dr. Don Hall, talk to the ones that, and then was um, Margaret Dean Liu. So we asked them, talk to them. I mean, we don't have anymore the 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 practicum that we used to have. That was almost 1 year, but we try to push them to corporations because this is a field that many, as you mentioned, Dr. Crespo, many of them are led by people that have no idea about health. They are just there and they human resource person. And so that's a field that might be not just a corporation because I never talk about nursing homes or other corporations that we could explore. So I'm writing down those things.
Mhm.
Michelle, please.
Oh, just one other quick thought. Sometimes people are reluctant to undertake a degree like this because it is a significant allocation of time and money and effort over several years. And sometimes people are apprehensive about that. Is there a way, just even with the curriculum we have, to kind of put blocks together so that people could put their toe in the water with, say, little mini certificates and build them up and earn different certifications? And then you tell them, oh, hey, well, you've got these two certificates. You've already completed 30% of the coursework that you need for a doctorate. You really ought to be considering that and get on this path. Maybe that breaking it up into chunks a little bit, but still giving them something useful at the end of this block of classes would benefit them.
That's an idea to explore. No doubt about that.
It's called stackable credentials. So you sort of stack them until you get and then you apply for your degree.
So this is actually a very good question and a good suggestion. And I just want to share the way the degree is built. 15 units of the degree is specifically devoted to preventive care coursework. Now, of course, Dr. Dos Santos has those additional tricks of the trade where he added this here and there. However, there's one thing to consider, especially, and I hope you noticed, Dr. DeSantos, I mentioned the ACLM full path certification is a very huge accomplishment. It takes a lot of effort, a lot of persistence, lots of work to get that done. And Dr. Dos Santos did that single-handedly. So I want to make sure to acknowledge that and everybody to hear this is truly, truly an accomplishment. I know of people who tried and failed. And so for that, I'm deeply grateful. But what I'm thinking of now is how do we market this? Because not everybody needs the full doctoral degree. What we're after here is trying to share the competencies, the program learning objectives that specifically preventive care portion offers. Now, I'm not, of course, suggest downplaying the full degree, but what Michelle suggested makes a very interesting case for a possibility of could we consider a certificate in preventive care or however we want to mention, or we already have the health and wellness coaching certificate. Let's add the ACLM pathway piece, which would require them to take two of those courses and maybe throw something else in and create something there. And that will fulfill the very piece that Michelle is suggesting. And then we can say, okay, now let's add the wellness coaching. Now let's add the next piece. And then, hey, you just have only so many units to have things left. So this is definitely something to explore. Dr. DeSantis just came out of Michelle's question. I'm just wondering if this is something for us to consider.
Well, I like the stackable. You know, when my wife came to Loma Linda to take some courses for a teaching credential for where she was working, somebody said just a few more courses and you get your MPH, and so she did. And then she took her chess and got her chess certificate as well. So I think that breaking up the requirements and getting a certificate here and a certificate there, that's what Lorna did.
Yeah,
I think there's
that's
even the diabetes education certificate. That's also
yeah. The thing is, yeah, we might go on that direction, or at least we are going to explore, because the financial aids is the big issue. Because to get financial aid for each stack of that, it has to be meaningful, or they will not. If it's not a master, if it's not a doctoral, so we have to figure it out. It's a certificate may be. We used to have lifestyle medicine, a master in lifestyle medicine, but then he went to a master in, we merged to master in health education, but it's still a master's, and then it's a big chunk of things that on it is I think they have to do stackable masters to get the masters first, and until they get to the doctorate. But the idea is good, and
Just a little comment on federal aid. I don't believe it's available anymore based on the changes with a degree not being considered as professional. So I'm wondering, so only students can still apply for private loans, but federal aid is no longer available. So I'm just wondering whether the situation would now be the same for the certificates. So that would be something that this is evolving as we go to each new day. And when I discovered that nursing is no longer a professional degree either, that was another interesting discovery for me. So, but what I'm trying to say is we need to stay on top of it to make sure we're not thinking we have a limitation where we do not.
Yeah. The issue there is they can still apply and get loans, but it's just I think it's only there's a cap of 100,000, and then you can only get, I think, 20,000 a year, which sometimes doesn't cover tuition. It used to, you could apply for a loan that would cover tuition and living expenses. If it's online, you only need for the tuition, but I think that $20,000 might not be enough.
20,000 per year now.
Yeah,
Is about well, it's not far from that. If you do
how much is it?
part-time, if
How
you
much
do
is a 1
part-time,
year at Loma Linda
what's that?
tuition? How much is 1 year tuition at Loma Linda?
Well, for the preventive care is about 9 units per month, 9 units per quarter. Is gonna be 36 units, is about $36,000, about $30,000
Yeah, I think
A year.
around. I mean,
yeah, because it changes. I think the first year, because I'm doing my loans and all of that, so it's around 36, 37 the first year. The second year it goes down because of the credits, so it's around 30,000. So it's 6,000 less. Then the last year of full classes, it's around 6 to 8,000 only for credits. Yeah. So the last year is the less.
So the better formula would be if students chose to take it as part-time degree and divide those close to 60 units into 4 years, then probably the 20 would cover it per year.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that same amount would be available for someone who's a part-time student.
Mhm.
So it's official then that financial aids is not anymore available. I
So
didn't
there is,
know that.
but just not, the federal will not give the same as before. It's changing with time, like Dr. Nelson said, because I was reading through that. And also I mean, just for international students, like I was, I went through private loans. So now I'm paying private loans. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a hard one.
Yeah. But the help, I guess, is it is there. We can, so for international students, I would say the marketing would be a little bit different. For example, for me, it was if I go to the US, am I going to come back to Mexico and work over there, or do I want to get my DrPH here so I can stay here? So that's, two aspects of how we can do the wording and how we can talk to students. And then the other thing is there are already a lot of health professionals around the world that they want a US degree. So we can go to those people. I think the last year I didn't go to any mission trips, but there was one that I went to Nepal, and there was two nurses that I met over there, and then two physicians that they wanted to do something else besides the clinical. So I was explaining how I was getting my degree and what was that about, and they wanted me to go and talk to their schools. Then I went into the like green card type, process. Then I couldn't get out of the country for a little while. But I think I'm gonna touch base again with them so I can go over there and see if I can get like students from there. That's why one of my comments in there in the chat was if we can help students to go and do these like panels like I did or presentations outside or just help other clinics, people that are already helping these clinics, or it could be a nurse or physicians or a nutritionist, wherever they are in their countries, that might want to do an online DRPH here so they can take whatever knowledge here so they can apply it over there.
Yeah, usually, I mean, you are an exception because you were here. Most of our students are not coming here, so they are not gonna ask for or get loans here. So for international students is a little different. And but again, I mean, you are trying to promote us overseas, so that's one way to do that. No doubts about that. I have a question for Brenda, if she is still there. Um, how
Yes, I'm
about
here.
how about how about in the ACLM? Do you see doctors, medical doctors that would like to have a DRPH in? They are ACLM already, but if they can have a DRPH in preventive care, and they don't want to go for residence because residence is complicated as mostly for the ones that are more mature and old in the profession, but they might be interested in getting a DRPH. Do you see something like that? Or I have two doctors that contacted me with this, but should we promote more of these or not?
I think that's not a bad idea. I think we could definitely promote it to international physicians that maybe want to come to the US, but they are struggling to go through the USMLE and the residency process. So I think that's a good alternative for a lot of the international physicians. But I think for our ABMS internal national physicians, I think it's also nice because it gives them a little bit of an edge in the workforce if they're wanting to do more lifestyle related work or more administration, those types of things. I think it's a nice add, and I'm actually surprised at how many MD DRPHs I've seen out there. And so I think one of the ways that ACLM allows for anybody to promote anything is through their ACLM Connect platform. So I think that's something that can be done on a regular basis to put that out there and just let people know that it exists. So I would really encourage you
Okay,
to do that for sure.
that's a good point. That's a good idea. Uh,
Yeah.
and is this Do you
And
know
let me
anybody?
just say one more thing. I would say it's not even, I wouldn't say it's even for physicians, but I think it can be for any of our health professionals. So all of our APPs, again, our NPs and PAs, people that already have their MPHs, anybody that already has like our RDs that already have their masters in nutrition and their RDNs, because dietitians now are all master's level trained. And so I think, yeah, really not just trying to focus on MDs, but focusing on everybody that already has a graduate degree,
You don't
like
have
a master's or something.
a person in charge of these, or we just go directly there?
So if you can prepare a message for me, I can search with who you need to, like what would be the best platform to put it on. And then I can help you work through that for
Okay.
sure.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yep.
So I don't know if I'm missing something on the chat. Are we going to have a recruiter, Dr. Nelson? A new recruiter?
That is a really good question. That is something all of us are wishing to see happen. And that is something at this moment that is not happening anytime soon.
Yeah. Yeah. I am 20 years in the school. I don't know what's the problem with recruiters and deans, but it does look like they don't get along. And then and then what
Hey, I'm a dean.
happened?
I'm a dean. Be careful.
No, what I'm saying is that you go as a dean, and the recruiter was from the former administration, and then
Yeah.
and things don't work together. And then one of our deans just fired the recruiter, and we stay 1 year without a recruiter. And that was because for the worst situation, you have a recruiter. You don't want to stay without a recruiter, and that's my point. I mean,
Yeah.
we are based on tuition, and then you get your. It's like a country that is on the war, and you are based on the Air Force, and then you fire the Air Force commander, and then don't replace that for 1 year. What kind of war are you gonna win with that? So sorry.
So let me just jump in to clarify. Based on my knowledge, there is and there has been no conflict with recruiters with the current dean. The
Yeah, I'm
current
talking about the
administration of
past.
this
Sorry.
the current administration of the school is seeking for ways to we want there to be a recruiter. At the present time, we have been guided from higher administration. Therefore, we're not able to make the move forward. We're hopeful that something will change, but I just wanted to make sure it was clear that
Oops.
I didn't I
So
didn't I
I know.
didn't
I
use
think
her, okay? It was not my fault.
well, I'm laughing because we had I have a meeting tomorrow with the rest of the faculty, and I was going to order some T-shirts, and the T-shirts are going to say, "We are all recruiters," because I think I do have a recruiter. He's but wherever he goes, I go, and whenever he's anywhere, he says, "I need you here." I'll go there, and I bring faculty, and it's all on LinkedIn, etc. But I think faculty, everybody needs to realize we're all recruiter. No tuition, no money, no jobs, and they get it because when the students don't show up, then the money dries out. So we're all recruiters. So and that's probably a culture more than an administrative decision.
Yeah, I wait for Dr. Nelson to come back. because yeah, that's something that I was heavy involved in recruitment since I came here. And I remember one time with another dean, I was in charge of the recruitment task force. And that's why I complain about. Sorry, Dr. Nelson, I didn't cut you off, so don't blame me on that. You finish your stuff because we didn't hear the last things that you said. Dr. Nelson? Did you hear Dr. Nelson?
Probably can't.
Yeah, I think she's not listening.
Maybe say something on the chat box.
Yeah. Well, what I was going to suggest, Dr. Nelson is still there now? No.
She said computer and auto settings are not working very well.
Yeah.
In the chat.
She says they're on strike. I have the graduate the graduate union on strike as we speak. So I'm getting PTSD.
Some challenges on the computer.
Well, we can move forward to if we have other ideas. But I appreciate your ideas and your suggestions, and that's why this meeting is very important, because we are inside of the box, and then we think about our things here, and then I sometimes ask my students who are doing their dissertation or their final project, hey, show your project to someone else outside of here. And then you get ideas that we might miss here. We might not consider in here. But because I mean, we are doing that for years and years and years, and then we continue doing whatever we were doing, and then we need to hear from you guys, from people, to see what is. John,
it's a tough time. So I
yeah.
know you know, we're all stressed out and anxious, but it's a stress time for academia, stress time for graduate school. The student loan is going to have a huge impact. The students cannot afford, and some of these professional trainings, students don't have time to work, and so it's going to create a reduction in number of students. So don't, you know, it's sometimes the solution is the problem is bigger than whatever is happening internally. So give yourself some space and be kind to yourself.
It's general. So did you guys have the same recruitment problem in your schools? I mean, Brian and Michelle. I mean, Carlos is saying yes, but
well, at Cal State, like my program is well, the college is the College of Health and Human Services, and I specialize in the nutrition and dietetics and things. We had probably about a year and a half of turbulence, but a lot of that was related to the academy changing the requirements so that practicing RDs had to have a master's degree when previously it was the bachelor's. So you had people already at the end of bachelor programs who were told that, oh, no, like you have to still continue your education, and they hadn't planned the time or money for that. And then likewise, people that had been recruited were being recruited for bachelor programs, but now the requirement had changed. So there was a little bit of kind of angst and lower enrollment, but I'd say probably after that first year, year and a half, that did stabilize. And so any time that we're trying to bring on some kind of change or repackaging of classes we're already offering into mini certificates or whatever, we might see a little, a little bit of this turbulence, but it shakes out. It shakes out. And the program actually is better and stronger than before, because then you have the people who really want to be there, who are really interested, who are going to see it through. They're going to persist. They're going to graduate. And those are the ones we want. And we want to put those out into the workforce for humanity.
We had some problems with enrollment overall as a university, but there's a variety of reasons for that. But we're primarily undergrad, and we get most of our grad students that come from the undergrad programs. And it's kind of a completely different situation. We were down about 9-10%. Now we're down about 4%. We actually are looking at possibly getting back up to where we were in another year. But it's completely different because we only have one doctoral program here. It's the EDD, which by the way, the administration, which I used to be part of, they were pushing the health science to start a DrPH. And one of the faculty that's leading the charge is a graduate of Loma Linda, but it's things keep getting slowed down because of other reasons. But and so I don't know what's going to happen with that. But nonetheless, the the numbers are just completely different. I mean, we've got, we still have 17,000 students, and so not like Long Beach. Long Beach is enormous. So
Yeah, I'll tell you that in our case, we we're up about 2 or 3%, but what happened is we're a state university, so we take advantage
yeah,
that students who normally would have gone to Loma Linda or Northwestern or University of Chicago and paid 3 or 4 times, now they see the value on the state university. So I I don't know how this is going to pan out comes August, but I think we're gonna. What not bothers me, what I'm concerned is these are good kids who, yeah, they got accepted at Northwestern or Chicago, but they have money. Now they're gonna come down and they're gonna bump the average underrepresented students that we had because they found the value in what we were doing. So I'm going to see how it ends up happening. Right now, applications are about the same as this time last year.
Good. Well, thank you very much for sharing
Thank you.
that.
Yeah.
It's something that we might do this more frequently. Okay, so maybe by the end of this year, the second semester, we might invite you again. So don't think you are done with a year. But I
Thank you.
appreciate your help, and we are about to adjourn this. If you want to say anything, I appreciate and thank you very much. I mean, your suggestions, experience, and sharing what you have is great for us. And I wrote everything here. I'm still old folk and to write things down, but it's recording
It's
too.
being recorded too. So,
Yeah.
Dr.
Okay.
Bison, it's great to see you.
see y'all. Take care.
All right.
Take care,
Have a
guys.
good day.
Thank you very
Bye.
much.